Montauk Point unfolds under a serene sky, the coastline a deceptive mask of tranquility. The camera zeroes in on the ominous silhouette of Camp Hero's radar station, a sentinel against the horizon. Its massive structure looms, a silent monolith hinting at secrets buried beneath the idyllic surface. The radar dishes stand frozen, their blank faces betraying nothing of the mysteries within. A stark contrast, nature's beauty versus the cold, calculated geometry of the military installation. The eerie calm belies the stories whispered about Montauk Point and Camp Hero. Inside the war room, scientists and soldiers gather, their faces bathed in the eerie glow of blinking lights. Complex equipment hums, filling the air with a palpable tension that hangs heavy over Camp Hero. The gravity of the situation is etched on every face, a silent acknowledgement of the stakes. Each blink of the screen, each hum of the machine, amplifies the growing sense of unease. The air is thick with unspoken fears and desperate hopes, a storm brewing in the heart of the war room. In the cold, sterile experimental chamber, a young boy is held captive in the Montauk Chair, his rigid posture betraying his fear. His wide eyes reflect the harsh light, mirroring the sterile dread of his surroundings. Thin wires snake across the room, binding him to the ominous machine. There is no escape. The wires extend, attaching to his head and body, stealing any chance of freedom. Each connection is a silent promise of forced visions, altering the boy's mind. Helpless, he awaits the surge, his youth a stark contrast to the cold technology imprisoning him. A black van screeches, dust billowing, outside the orphanage. Men in dark suits emerge, their expressions grim and unreadable. The heavy van doors slam shut, echoing in the silent courtyard. Their dark figures advance, casting long shadows across the sunlit steps. An unspoken tension hangs heavy in the air, a prelude to upheaval. In Camp Hero's training room, young boys sit with furrowed brows, sweat beading as they strain to levitate wooden blocks. Small hands hover, concentration etched on their faces as they attempt to move the blocks with sheer will. Jacob manages a fleeting lift, the block rising an inch before crashing back down. Frustration evident. Ben trembles, his nose starting to bleed, a testament to the immense mental effort exerted. The blocks remain stubbornly grounded, resisting the boy's desperate attempts to defy gravity. A stern instructor observes, his critical gaze adding pressure to the already intense atmosphere. In the experimental chamber, a boy sits in the Montauk Chair, his brow furrowed in intense concentration. His eyes are fixed straight ahead, unblinking, as he focuses on something unseen. Suddenly, the air shimmers and distorts before him, crackling with untold energy. A portal tears open, a swirling vortex of light and unknown possibilities. The chamber hums with power as the gateway to another world materializes. Swirling vortexes of time reveal fleeting glimpses of ancient Egypt, its golden monuments gleaming under a desert sun. Futuristic cities emerge, skyscrapers piercing the clouds, vehicles weaving through neon-lit skies. Prehistoric landscapes unfold, dinosaurs roam, and volcanoes erupt in primordial chaos. Epochs blend, brief flashes of past and future collide in the swirling chaos of the time portal. A dizzying kaleidoscope of civilizations, each vying for dominance in the chaotic currents of time. Under the hum of fluorescent lights, scientists huddle in the observation room, their faces illuminated by the glow of monitors. Complex data streams and distorted images of a young boy flicker across the screens, captivating the scientists' attention. A mixture of awe and deep concern etches across their faces as they witness the boy's journey through time. The sickly glow of the monitors casts long shadows, adding to the tension in the room as they observe. In the sterile experimental chamber, a boy stumbles, his eyes wide with terror. He struggles to reconcile the cold, metallic surroundings. His breath hitches, ragged gasps escaping his lips. His young mind is etched with the horrors of his time journey. The sterile room amplifies the trauma within him. In the sterile medical room, a doctor prepares a syringe, the liquid inside gleaming ominously. The boy sits, unaware, as the doctor approaches, his face a mask of professional detachment. The needle pierces the boy's skin, a subtle invasion, as the drug begins its work. His eyes flutter, a brief flicker of confusion crossing his face as memories begin to fade. The doctor watches intently, ensuring the erasure is complete. The room's silent but for the boy's shallow breaths. In the experimental chamber, a boy sits rigidly in the Montauk Chair, his eyes blank, lost in thought. Unseen energy crackles around him, the air thick with anticipation and the hum of untold experiments. His brow furrows in intense concentration, wrestling with visions only he can perceive in the electric air. A monster begins to form in the mind's eye, a terrifying manifestation of raw psychic power unleashed. In the basement corridor, a monstrous form bursts into being, its essence pure psychic energy, a beacon of chaos. The creature twists and writhes, its grotesque features a manifestation of raw psychic power. Walls crack and crumble as the monster's energy pulsates outward, the corridor buckling under its force. Shadows lengthen and distort, dancing with the creature's every move, amplifying the sense of dread. A palpable aura of psychic energy crackles in the air, filling the corridor with an oppressive weight. The monster unleashes its full power, its psychic scream echoing through the corridor, a harbinger of destruction. Red lights pulse ominously, painting the faces of military personnel in the war room with a hellish glow. Screaming alarms tear through the room, a symphony of impending doom vibrating in the walls. Sweat glistens as they fight against a monstrous entity, a desperate battle against the uncontainable. Desks overturn, a chaotic ballet of destruction under the flashing red lights. Monitors flicker and die, casting long, distorted shadows that dance with the chaos. Red emergency lights strobe across the faces of frantic scientists in Camp Hero's experimental chamber. A final surge of energy crackles, neutralizing the monster amidst a shower of sparks. Smoke billows, obscuring the chamber as the subdued monster slumps. Damaged equipment sputters, wires dangling like broken nerves from the ceiling. Debris litters the floor, a testament to the chaotic struggle within the experimental chamber. The silence after the storm is heavy, the room a scene of near devastation. Montauk Point, a silent radar station, stands against the vast sky, a relic of forgotten times, its concrete cracked by weeds. Paint peels from the metal structures, revealing the bones of a project seemingly shut down, lost to history. The relentless sun beats down on the abandoned experiment, baking the silence into every corner. Nature reclaims the site, a slow, inevitable takeover by the weeds and wind, erasing human ambition. The station exhales its last breath, a forgotten monument to a bygone era swallowed by the march of time. Under cold fluorescent lights, David sits hunched on the leather couch, worry etched deep into his face. The therapist listens with empathy as David nervously begins to recount fractured memories. "It's like pieces, flashes," David murmurs, his voice barely audible in the sterile room. He struggles to articulate the chaotic images in his mind. "I see a base, lots of equipment, kids." A chilling realization dawns in his eyes as he whispers, "And something about time." David's voice trembles as he confesses, I think I was part of something called the Montauk Project." Strapped into a chair, a young boy is dwarfed by a machine, wires coiling around his head in the dimly lit room. A looming doctor figure adjusts dials, casting distorted shadows that dance around the trembling boy. His eyes widen with fear as the hypnosis begins, his small body betraying the terror within. His mind is probed, manipulated, a silent scream trapped within the confines of his young heart. In a quiet research library, a man is hunched over a table, surrounded by books and printouts. His brow is furrowed in concentration as he pores over documents related to the Montauk Project. The only sounds are the rustling of pages and the occasional cough, heightening the sense of mystery. The dim light casts long shadows, emphasizing the man's solitary quest for answers. He seeks to uncover the hidden truths of the Montauk Project, lost in thought. In a dimly lit, cluttered room, screens cast an eerie glow, revealing a man consumed by the digital world. His face, illuminated by the monitor's light, reflects a feverish intensity as he scrolls through endless lines of text. He types furiously, each keystroke a desperate attempt to connect with fellow Montauk Project survivors. The screen floods with words, fragments of paranoia and shared trauma, weaving a tapestry of broken memories. Each message echoes in the digital ether, binding them together in a shared quest for truth and validation. Flickering emergency lights struggle to pierce the gloom of abandoned Camp Hero, casting long, dancing shadows. The man, his face a roadmap of exhaustion, guides the small band of survivors through the desolate barracks. Dust motes swirl in the dim light, revealing overturned cots and scattered debris, whispers of lives interrupted. A heavy silence blankets the camp, broken only by the soft shuffle of feet and the ghosts of laughter. Each survivor searches, their eyes scanning for a familiar object, a fragment of a life left behind in haste. The air hangs thick with unspoken grief, a palpable sense of loss clinging to the walls of Camp Hero. Flickering lights paint the experimental chamber in long, haunted shadows. The air is thick with ozone and metallic tang. The survivors huddle, their faces masks of fear and confusion, as unseen forces begin to stir within the chamber. A collective shudder ripples through the group, the weight of the unknown pressing down on them. Vivid, jarring flashbacks assault their minds, each a fragment of terror in the cold, sterile night. Dust motes swirl in the gloom of the war room, illuminating the faces of Anna, Mark, and Sarah around a battered table. Anna's finger traces a blueprint, her expression hardening with each line she follows. The weight of discovery hangs heavy. Mark pores over a ledger, his brow furrowed in concentration as he seeks answers in the faded numbers. Sarah stares blankly at a photograph, her face etched with disbelief, lost in a memory the others can only imagine. A flashlight beam pierces the suffocating darkness of Camp Hero's tunnels, dust motes swirling in the light. Damp concrete walls and dripping pipes frame the survivors as they cautiously venture into the underground labyrinth. The air hangs heavy, thick with the cloying scent of mildew and an indefinable, ancient dread. Each step echoes in the oppressive silence, amplifying the unsettling feeling that they are not alone. The deeper they go, the more palpable the sense of foreboding becomes, a silent promise of unknown horrors. Dawn breaks over Montauk Point, casting a pale light on the survivors gathered at the coastline. The endless ocean stretches before them, a vast expanse mirroring the uncertainty of their future. A fragile peace settles, yet the weight of their shared ordeal is etched deeply in their faces. Each survivor carries the burden of memories, a silent testament to the trials they have endured. Their eyes reflect a mix of sorrow and resilience, a quiet strength forged in the face of despair. They stand together, united by loss and hope, on the edge of a new beginning. Sunlight paints stripes across a sterile office as a man in his 40-second shifts, haunted by unseen memories. The weight of countless memories presses down on him, a burden of experiences, real or imagined. His eyes reflect a deep internal struggle, caught between past shadows and present realities. He confronts his therapist, a glimmer of resolve in his voice. "I realize that the Montauk Project has shaped my life, but it does not define me," he declares, a fragile hope flickering against the darkness.